Okay, so I decided to do a video to answer all the questions from the reading this week. For question one, at the end of the abstract, the aging process is in part a social construct, blah, blah, blah. He means that aging happens no matter what. Like, you can't control if you age, but your views on it, and if it's positive or negative, are affected by, like, the culture you live in and the views that, like, your family has or your work or whatever. The weight placed upon the process of aging is not necessary. Like, you could be underwhelmed about getting old and, like, not care at all and not take care of your body and think everything's fine and not, sometimes when you're older, you need, like, more supplements or whatever and just ignore all that. Or you can be, like, hyper aware and be doing things like plastic surgery can affect your views on aging. Like, if you think you shouldn't age or it's bad to, like, get older, you're doing things to make yourself seem youthful. But it's all based on who you talk to and what the views of people and society around you think. Theories that align with age being a social construct: Erikson's theory in the integrity versus despair. Weight is placed on old people to see if they're, like, good enough, if they did enough, if their time on earth was worth it, did they change the world, whatever. And that's like a big reflecting period when you get old. The social learning theory: we learn from each other at a young age that getting old is bad or that getting old is good, whatever, and that kind of just seeps in and takes over for the rest of your life. And then question three, he proposes that aging-related stereotypes influence health and function by saying that stereotypes turn into self-perception as you age, positively or negatively. There's the study of aging people that had a better view about getting older and had things like, oh, moving is good for you, da, da, da. They were healthier because they had a more positive view, or maybe they had like a you can take control of yourself type of view. And then people that were, like, scared to get older, thought it was terrible and thought they would lose all their mobility and freedoms, had a more negative experience and were not as healthy. With the study of aging, people's views that were healthier, it's the same thing really. And then there's the stereotype embodiment theory, where stereotypes become a lifestyle. The younger you are, the more internalized the stereotype can be. If you learn at a super young age that, like, you're going to lose your driver's license, you're not going to be able to do anything, then you might not be as proactive in trying to keep it because you think that's just how it is. It subconsciously just grows in your mind, and when they're more relevant to you, they're more apparent. So maybe if, like, you start having bad eyesight, then you will attribute it more to getting old than maybe extensive computer work or whatever. And then for the one thing that happens when you get older, I chose pap smears. I know that's not, like, super old. You're, like, what, 23 or something? But they're a sign of aging because you don't need it when you're a kid. And then, like, risks are higher for cancer when you get old. And if you have a negative view, it could be because like, your family never talked about it and you never knew what they were and you just heard that they were, like, scary and they hurt a lot. I've heard those things. And then you're afraid to get them. You're afraid to have sex or have kids, and you're just, like, you start to internalize that and you get super worried about cervical cancer and that kind of thing, and you obsess about it for the rest of your life. Or if you have a positive view, you could be like, hey, this is so great. It's just another way to keep me healthy and to screen me for something. And it's so good. And I'm so, like, glad that I have the ability to get one of these. So those are two different ideas that could be placed along with having a pap smear.